Welcome to Stories. My sister asked me to be a bridesmaid. Now I'm a woman. Adam never thought he'd find himself in a bridesmaid's dress, much less embarking on a journey that would redefine his identity. He had always been the dependable older brother, the one with a steady office job, a regular group of friends, and a life that ran smoothly, without much excitement or deviation. His days followed a predictable rhythm. Wake up, go to work, meet friends for a drink, come home and repeat. Everything was in its place, and he was content, or at least he thought he was. That all changed when his sister Emma, a whirlwind of wedding planning stress, threw him into the most unexpected situation of his life. With her wedding planner falling ill and a bridesmaid unable to attend, she turned to Adam with a desperate plea. What started as an innocent favor, to fill in as a bridesmaid, would unravel Adam's perception of who he truly was. It would take him from a life of ordinary predictability to one of profound self-discovery and transformation. It was a typical Saturday morning when Emma burst into Adam's apartment. Her cheeks were flushed with panic, and she paced the kitchen as he sipped his coffee, trying to keep up with her hurried explanation. "I know this sounds insane," she began, wringing her hands together, "but I need you to help me with something big. My wedding is in a week, and everything is falling apart." Adam raised an eyebrow. "Okay, slow down. What happened?" Emma sighed, sinking into the chair opposite him. "One of my bridesmaids had to drop out last minute, and the wedding planner is in the hospital. I don't have anyone else who can step in. You're the only person I trust. I need you to fill in as a bridesmaid. Just for the photos and the rehearsal. You wouldn't have to do much." Adam nearly spit out his coffee. "Wait, what? A bridesmaid? Me?" "I know it sounds ridiculous," Emma pleaded, her eyes wide with desperation, "but I'm out of options. Please, Adam, you wouldn't have to do anything except show up. The girls will help you. I'm begging you." Adam rubbed his temples, trying to wrap his mind around what she was asking. It felt absurd. Him, a bridesmaid. The very thought of putting on a dress, let alone being part of a bridal party, felt alien to him. But the look on Emma's face, the sheer panic in her voice, was enough to make him reconsider. "Okay, fine," he relented after a long pause. "I'll do it, but this better be temporary." Emma's face lit up, and she jumped up to hug him. "Thank you, thank you, thank you. You have no idea how much this means to me." The next day, Adam found himself standing in a brightly lit bridal salon, surrounded by racks of soft fabrics, lace, and sequins. The scent of floral perfume and hairspray lingered in the air, and everywhere he turned, there were mirrors reflecting images of silk gowns and delicate veils. "All right, this is your dress," one of the bridesmaids said with a grin, handing Adam a lavender-colored gown. He held it up with a raised eyebrow, his fingers brushing over the smooth fabric. It was much lighter and softer than anything he'd ever worn before. "Let's get you into it," another bridesmaid chimed in, practically pushing him toward the changing room. Adam hesitated for a moment, looking at himself in the mirror. His reflection stared back at him, a mixture of confusion and nervousness on his face. He was about to do something completely out of his comfort zone, something that would not only challenge his perception of himself but also bring him face to face with feelings he had long buried. When he finally stepped into the dress, he was surprised at how well it fit. The fabric hugged his body in ways that felt both strange and oddly comforting. The bodice accentuated his chest, while the skirt flared out in a soft, flowing motion. For a moment, Adam felt a rush of self-consciousness as he glanced at the mirror again, seeing his reflection transformed into something so far from what he was used to. One of the bridesmaids walked up behind him and gave a low whistle. "Look at you, Anna. You're natural." "Anna?" Adam repeated, confused. The bridesmaid laughed. "Yeah, we decided that's your new name. Adam is too boyish for a bridesmaid. You'll be Anna for the wedding." The other girls giggled in agreement, and before Adam could protest, they were fussing over him, fixing his hair, applying makeup, and showing him how to walk in the high heels they picked out for him. It all felt surreal, like he had stepped into someone else's life for the day. But there was something more to it. A sense of ease that started to creep into his chest, a feeling of excitement that he couldn't quite place. As the makeup was applied and his hair styled into soft waves, Adam's reflection became less recognizable. Gone was the responsible older brother he had always seen. In his place stood Anna, a version of himself he had never imagined. And yet, as strange as it all was, he couldn't deny that it felt right. The days leading up to the wedding were a whirlwind of rehearsals, dress fittings, and bonding with the other bridesmaids. At first, Adam assumed he would simply be an outsider, fulfilling his duty as a favor to his sister. But as Anna, he found himself blending in more effortlessly than he had expected. The bridesmaids treated him like one of their own, joking, laughing, and gossiping with him as though he had always been a part of their group. The more time Adam spent as Anna, the more natural it felt. His posture softened, his voice became more gentle, and even his movements took on a more feminine grace. It wasn't something he consciously tried to do. It just happened. At night, Adam would look at himself in the mirror, still in awe of how drastically his appearance had changed with a bit of makeup and a dress. But it wasn't just the external transformation that surprised him. It was the internal shift that caught him off guard. He found himself feeling more confident, more comfortable in his own skin. As Anna, he wasn't just playing a role, he was exploring a part of himself he had never given voice to before. There was a sense of freedom in shedding the expectations of who he had always been and embracing something entirely new. The other bridesmaids noticed the change too. "You're really good at this, Anna," one of them remarked during a dress fitting. "It's like you've always been one of us." Adam laughed, but there was a part of him that agreed. It wasn't just a role anymore. It felt like a new version of himself was being born. When the wedding day finally arrived, Adam stood in the mirror, fully transformed into Anna for the final time. His lavender bridesmaid dress flowed elegantly around him, and his hair and makeup were flawless. The other bridesmaids surrounded him, adjusting his dress and making final tweaks to their own appearances. "You look stunning, Anna," Emma said, appearing behind him in her wedding gown. She placed a hand on his shoulder and smiled. "Thank you for doing this. I know it was a lot to ask." Adam smiled back, but inside, his emotions were swirling. This wasn't just a favor anymore. It was something far more personal, something that had shifted the very foundation of who he was. As they walked down the aisle, the guests didn't bat an eye. Adam, now fully embodying Anna, blended in seamlessly with the bridal party. People complimented him, some even remarking that they hadn't realized there was another sister in the family. Each compliment, each smile of approval, only deepened the sense of belonging he felt. For the first time in his life, Adam felt like he was exactly where he was meant to be. After the wedding, Adam expected to feel a sense of relief, like he could finally go back to being his old self. But instead, there was an emptiness that settled into his chest. He missed the sense of freedom and authenticity he had felt as Anna. The dresses, the makeup, the way he had moved through the world during those days, it all felt like more than just a temporary role. One evening, after dinner with Emma, he opened up to her about his feelings. "It's weird," he admitted, staring at his reflection in the window. "I thought I'd be glad to go back to being me, but now, I'm not so sure. Being Anna felt so right in a way I can't explain." Emma listened quietly before smiling. "You don't have to explain it to me. I've seen how happy you were these past few days. I think you're starting to discover something about yourself. And that's a good thing." Her words gave Adam a sense of comfort, and over the next few months, he allowed himself to explore this new part of him. He started small, wearing makeup at home, experimenting with clothes that made him feel more like Anna. But the more he embraced this side of himself, the more he realized that Anna wasn't just a persona he had adopted for the wedding. She was who he truly was. With Emma's encouragement, Adam began seeking out hormone therapy, Slowly, his body began to change. His skin softened, his facial features became more delicate, and his body took on a more feminine shape. The process was slow, but each change brought him closer to the person he had always felt inside. Years later, as Adam, now fully Anna, looked back on that fateful wedding day, she couldn't help but smile. What had started as a desperate request from her sister had turned into the most important journey of her life. She had found herself in a bridesmaid's dress, but in doing so, she had discovered who she truly was. And as Anna, she had never felt more complete. Thank you for joining us on another captivating journey through Zoe's stories. Remember to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a tale. Until next time, keep exploring, keep imagining, and keep believing in the magic of storytelling. See you in the next chapter.